Alright guys, so as most of you probably know by now, we're making a little series of videos about basically the car shopping process. I'm looking to replace my Camry with something affordable but also fun. And what meets that criteria very well, seemingly, is the Kia Stinger. So I've been really wanting to check it out, and today is the day. Checking out the 2019 Kia Stinger. This is the base configuration. As far as what I'd be looking at, it would be the base trim of the vehicle, maybe with all-wheel drive, just depends. This specific one has rear-wheel drive. But basically, just like the last video, we're going to give you a kind of like a fly-on-the-wall kind of perspective. We're just going to talk amongst ourselves. Just talk about the drive and whatnot, and see how it goes. Of course, like I said, what interests me about this is that you have German dynamics, in the sense that this car is designed by ex-Audi designer Peter Schrader, and also has the dynamics tuned by Albert Beardman, a former BMW M person. So when you have that type of resume for your car, it definitely gets my attention, especially when it's priced starting barely. This one here is only $32,000. So when you're talking about that type of number, you're talking about something like a regular midsize sedan, and this, like I said, has a resume that's a lot better than like a Camry. So
yeah,
I definitely expect that it will be a really great drive. Look how little I turn the steering wheel right now. I mean, the steering is like just super responsive. It really tucks in.
well, I have to say, from that acceleration, that is definitely quick. The 2-liter feels a lot like the Audi A4, A5 combo.
Mm-hmm.
And for 30 grand instead of 50 or 60.
That's right. And frankly, this has better steering, for sure. Definitely, I prefer a more stout, a heavier steering setup, and this definitely has a heavier steering setup than in the standard Audi A5.
So is the steering all it's hyped up to be?
It really is. It's great. Definitely one of the best steering setups I've ever felt. And we're in the standard mode. We can flip on over, use the drive mode controller, do the sport mode, and things get even tighter. But yeah, like I said, I definitely like I prefer a tighter steering setup. Now, this is a sports sedan, but when you have something that's your everyday car, it needs to be comfortable too.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really important, because I was, I guess, concerned that this would be something that maybe had like a really stiff and harsh suspension, but that's not the case. It's actually quite smooth, very comfortable.
I like it. It feels pretty much like any other luxury car, or just a regular midsize sedan.
engine's power delivery is very smooth. Definitely feels very linear.
It's so it's refined. You know,
It really is
I
refined.
didn't expect that out of a Kia. You know, in an Audi or whatever, they put the 2-liter in everything. So I kind of expected it to be real nice, but you know, this is not even a downgrade, really.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It's you kind of I don't know, you can never tell with these 2-liter engines. Like, some of them are more unrefined than others. What car were we in recently that had such a lag between the manual paddle shift and when you push the...
It was a Q50, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was. Yeah, this is definitely, this is much more responsive than the Q50 on the paddles. You can definitely, having a rear-wheel drive car is just such a benefit for dynamics,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, riding down the highway really showcases what kind of is, to me, I think that this car, I knew that it was probably going to drive good based on what everyone else said, so I kind of assumed that it would drive good, but what I'm most impressed about is that a lot of the times in the media, they'll be like, okay, it drives best driving car ever, but it's not an everyday livable vehicle, and just driving down the road, I mean, you can tell that this car is tuned like a luxury vehicle. It's quiet inside, the seats are super comfortable, and if you have people in the back, there's tons of legroom and tons of cargo space. So, you know, this car, to me, it really checks off a lot of the boxes that I would be interested in looking at.
Right, and I'm driving Camry. I'm used to
Yeah.
being comfortable, you know, so I don't want to go to some spine-crushing, rough riding, you know. Frankly, you know, we live in a time I kind of expect the best of both worlds, but it's hard to find something that has the best of both worlds, you know. So I'm really tickled that this is it's definitely delivering what I'm looking for.
And I do also want to kind of point out, we're sitting in traffic here, and literally every person that drives by us is like staring at it like it's a Ferrari or something, and it costs like 30 grand, and it attracts the attention that you would not expect out of something
That's
this
right.
inexpensive.
I mean, this car is an amazing deal. I mean, it's an amazing deal. Just if you just shopped it on just the equipment that it has on its standard at this $32,000 price point, it's better equipped than regular midsize sedans and stuff like that.
There we go again. Literally every person. Yeah, no, that's...
It is just such a amazing value. Yeah, see if you get that much attention when you drive down the street in your Toyota Camry, your Chevy Malibu, you know.
I mean, that's not what you're looking for, but it does. I mean, that's a testament to how
it looks really good. I mean,
the quad exhaust in the back, and
I value a car not to impress somebody. I just want it to look good for me. And I mean, that is a big deal, is how nice it looks. It's got that rear wheel drive proportion, like you said, quad exhaust, standard equipment.
Nice wheels on a $33,000 one. Stripper model basically is what we're driving, and that's right. It has super nice wheels on it. And it only gets better from there if you go to the GTs.
Yeah, you're just frankly not gonna feel like base. It's what the trim level is called, but they really should have came up with a different name for it, I think. Yeah, so that really was what I wanted to see. I'm really tickled to know that this is a really great option. I'd be strongly considering, because it is basic in no way, shape, or form. I mean, yeah, because you have to check these things, because you know, a lot of brands, I mean, even luxury brands like a Mercedes or something like that, it may start out really expensive, but you still are expected to put $20,000 of options on it before it gets to an acceptable level of options. They'll make it really stripper grade, and I just appreciate that even though this is cheap, and it's a cheap luxury car, you've got
this cabin.
Loads of features.
This cabin is Audi level,
Yeah, you've got the Audi design, BMW steering, the rear wheel drive looks, the handling.
So I would say the worst thing about this car would have to be, for me, would be the stigma of it being a Kia. Would be the only thing that I could say as a con about this car. And I think that that's increasingly becoming less and less as they make new stuff like the Telluride.
I don't think anybody even knows that it's a Kia.
Wait, if you remove the badge off the front...
If you look at the back of it, I figured out what it reminds me of. Maserati Ghibli, Quattro
Forte.
Does.
It does.
I believe that might be what people think it is. And like you said, you don't have to go for the GT to get the looks. You can just look out the window and watch people in traffic that are staring at you. And
last time we got attention like that was in the RS5 Sportback. So
yeah, and that was green.
And that was a green Audi. So I'm extremely impressed, and that's my honest to goodness truth. I really love this car through and through.
Yes, this is definitely a car I could see myself owning.